Hello songwriters, a while ago I asked you guys to send me some of your questions, and right here, right now, I have my phone out, and I'm going to be answering some of your questions, whether it's questions about music, questions about me, whatever questions you guys have, I'm going to be answering them today. So let's get to it. Our first question comes from NotHawk777. They ask, do you think music is in a good place right now? Sometimes I feel like the golden era of music is long gone, and we haven't really had the same excitement or energy for a while. Personally, I think it's because producers and record execs don't do enough to lift up vocalists to their pure potential. We don't have any more Whitneys, Mariahs, etc., and it seems like we've let DJs take over pop radio right now. I would say that in terms of quality, when I think about quality, I think about lyrical depth, I think about melodic depth, I think about music that makes you think, music that has a mind. I don't think that music right now is operating like it has a mind. I really think that we're consuming music that is more a product. I don't think that a lot of the music that's made right now in the pop scene, in the top 40 scene, is really to really provoke people to critical thought. So in terms of quality, I don't think that music is in the place that it used to be. And I think that it's time that we make a change about it, right? Along the same lines of that last question, we've got a question from Kindness who asks, how do you feel about the state of R&B music? Do you think it's dead, or did it just evolve into more of a mixture of alternative sounds? And if you had a chance, would you start a label? I'll answer your last question first. I definitely want to start a record label. That's actually one of my biggest dreams since I was 18 or 19. I really want to really break into the music scene and kind of change the world. Come on, it's all over my channel. I will say that R&B is definitely not dead. You have a lot of artists that are very committed to making great R&B music. I won't say that it's dead. However, I will say that R&B doesn't have the influence that it once had. And this is going to be a concept that I talk about in another video. But R&B actually used to be one of the main influences of pop music. If you think about 10 years ago when Beyonce's Crazy in Love was out, R&B artists were no problem getting into the top 10 because that was the sound that was popular at the time. And now R&B just isn't as popular as it used to be. That is in the general public. However, I think that R&B is still there's still R&B. It's definitely not dead. Our next question comes from Christian M17, and they ask, why do you think so many people overlook Demi's Demi era and just compare the Unbroken era to the Confident era? I think that's simply because Demi was more of a transitional period for Demi Lovato's vocal technique. And when we get to the Confident era, as I've said in my videos, we get a more darker toned Demi Lovato because of the vocal technique that she's using. In the Unbroken era, we have a Demi that is much lighter, not just because she has lighter hair, but her voice sounds a lot lighter. From Unbroken to Confident, through the Demi era, we got a transition of vocal techniques, and the Unbroken era and the Confident era are kind of two different sides of a coin. If you were to compare Unbroken to Demi, it's not as much of a difference as from Unbroken to Confident. And so I think that people compare it simply because they like the contrast that Demi has had from that point to that point. It's just a longer period of time, in my opinion. Thanks for your question. Our next question comes from Twitterland. Official Nate Leo asks, your thoughts on Tamar Braxton's music, favorite songs? Now, I really enjoy Tamar Braxton's music. This girl, oh my gosh, when it comes to quality music, I've been talking about, I really feel like Tamar has worked hard to bring quality music. Favorite songs, I would say All the Way Home is up there, Love and War up there, Angels and Demons off of her latest album is definitely up there, also Catfish. Some really great songs. So if you don't know who Tamar Braxton is, you can go and check out the songs. Thanks for your question. Mojo Pin asks, who do you think is the most influential singer, musician of our generation, and who, in your opinion, will fade from the spotlight within maybe about the next 10 years? I'm gonna say hands down that Beyonce is the most influential singer, musician of our generation. of our generation is the keywords. Anyway, I like when you think about her surprise album that she released, she really changed the game with that. If you think about like 10 years ago when she did B-Day, she did that video anthology, and then with her surprise album, she did a video for every song. I feel like Beyonce is constantly pushing the envelope, and people are constantly following her. So I would say if she's not the most influential, then she is definitely in the top 5, I would say. Who will fade from the spotlight in the next 10 years? I'm gonna say Fifth Harmony, not because they won't be relevant, but simply because they're going to break up. Like I read an interview that Normani did. They're going to be breaking up. They're not going to be operating as a group forever. And I think it's great because the girls, I don't think that they really truly know themselves, and Fifth Harmony is really a place that all of them can really get training to have really great solo careers. So I think that Fifth Harmony won't really be here in the next 10 years. Next question, and it's actually technically our first question, comes from Lel, and they ask, do you have any tips for improving breath support and or projection? I'll be very honest with you. I'm still learning when it comes to vocal technique, so I'm not like the greatest vocal technician. However, I can tell you that an open throat is the best way to go when it comes to projection. Projection doesn't come from forcing it. Projection comes from opening up your sound. What I will tell you to do, or an exercise that I do, is I bring in my breath for 4 beats, and I put it out on an S sound for varying amounts of time, so like 16 beats or 20 or 24, and I make sure that all of my breath is gone at the end of whatever length I put it at. And when I do that, it allows my breath to be controlled and allows all of my phrases to have the same amount of intensity throughout, so that I'm not running out of breath but at the beginning or at the end, but I'm fully in control. Breath support is all about engaging the lower half of your body, your diaphragm and your diastolic muscles, so that you have an open throat. So breath support is really the key to projection as well. So that's all the time I have for questions today. This video is probably going to end up being very long, but I wanted to get to all the questions. But I still didn't even get to all of the questions. And actually the questions that were left were more personal questions. So for those of you that want to ask about me and me personally, I'll do another Q&A about me and about myself and I. Even if you still have more music questions, I'll definitely be answering those. I want to make this a habit on this channel because I want to really connect to you guys a little more. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you are new, because this is the place where we think deeply so that we create our own art that changes the world. Thank you so much for watching my videos, guys. We're at over 800 subscribers now. We're definitely gonna hit 1,000 by the end of the summer, and I can't wait to see where this channel goes. So thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.